Welcome back to the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show for our second segment here. Thanks for tuning in as we give you all of your real estate and mortgage news. We got so much going on in the news cycle. We got Make America Great Again versus two communists. We've got interest rates plummeting. Can we say they're plummeting? That's plummeting.
I don't know if that's what the news would say.
But when it drops 1/8%, they say, if it goes up 1/8%, they say they're skyrocketing.
Yes.
So they are plummeting, according to Cleve Loveland on the Loveland Report.
Well, I tell you this much. They have dropped significantly. I'm going to use the word
2 years ago, we were in the 8s. Yeah.
So, I mean, it now is a great time. So I want to talk about that.
Interesting.
And I want to talk about the challenges that come along with that.
Yep. Interesting stuff going on right now. We've got homes on the market. We'll get the inventory report. I'll have that next week, Bruce. I'm trying to think, it comes out on the 15th. I'll have that. And we'll go through that. I'm hoping the inventory kind of stayed stable, didn't climb too much. But the number of sales from the last month looked like it was about just like we were running in 2023. But this interest rate drop hopefully will speed up our sales where we can beat 2023. Still got appreciation. I haven't seen anybody. I had one guy lose money on a house, but he got an awesome job offer. He wasn't concerned. He sold, lost about 2%. Wasn't a big deal because he got an awesome job. So it just wasn't a good place to be for him to leapfrog out of that house and rent that one. So, in fact, we got to pick a date. Next week, we will announce a leapfrog date.
Yes, we will. We've got people waiting for it. But you know what? Every August is just such a tough time with people on vacation and going back to school, and it's just hot out. So I think September will be a better time.
And right now, that's one thing. I got an article here from Inman talking about houses are sitting on the market longer. What do you do when your house has been on the market for a while? Now, this is why your realtor should be visiting you every 2 to 3 weeks. You should be able to talk to them daily or weekly if you want. But when our market is still moving, Bruce, and no matter whether you're 5 acres with a 4,000 square foot home on it or a starter condo in Altamont Springs for $199,000, we can tell you what's sold around your price range. The market is moving. And your market value, Bruce, you know what that is?
Tell me.
It's what you walk away from the closing table with.
Well, of course it is.
So that getting there is what you want. And if you're not getting offers or you're not even getting people through, it could be access. I had a house the other day I went to. For some reason, the house was vacant. They had it set appointment only, listing agent will accompany. I have no idea why that agent did that. Maybe they thought they'd sell it themselves, which is usually about
some sellers are particular. They're not educated.
But the seller wasn't. They wanted me to list it for them. They're like, what's going on? I said, well, it looks like the house looks great. You're vacant. Why is it appointment only? They're like, we don't know. The agent just did that. So I don't know if this agent was just trying to keep realtors from showing it, because you make access hard. The realtors with a buyer in their car for half a day because they work all the time and they've only got time to see 6 homes.
That's right.
And they can't get a hold of you about an appointment. They won't show it. No. So what else do you want to talk about with the speed bumps going on?
So there's a few things I want to cover. First of all, with rates dropping, we are starting to see a lot more refinances, people that need cash, people that need debt consolidation. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be the only lender that ever tells you this. So this is why you listen to me. This is why you trust me, or that you should trust me. I am discouraging most people from refinancing for rate reduction right now. Now, veterans are getting hammered right now with phone calls. Hammered because they're easy prey for lenders. I'm going to tell you, and your favorite lender, your USAA, is one of the worst. The Veterans United, they are just after you like hawks.
Because you refi, we want to look at the cost,
listen,
right?
You don't want to churn your mortgage. You don't want to keep refinancing, and rates will eventually drop a little bit more. So you got to wait another maybe 10 months, maybe a year.
So they need to have like a 7.5 rate.
So there isn't a formula. Everybody used to think that it was 1.5 to 2% drop in rate. Well, that depends on how long you've had your mortgage. If you've had your mortgage for 20 years, yes, that would make sense. But if you've only had your mortgage for 3 years, you haven't even started to touch the principal. So there are different formulas for that. But for a veteran to do what's called an EARL, a rate reduction refinance, they can only do it every 241 days. So if it drops to right now, let's just say you could get 599, right? And then it drops to 5.25, and a veteran could get 499. You're going to miss that 499 if it's limited time. You're going to miss it. So let's just hold on. I am taking clients right now that want to refinance, that rates aren't quite where I want them to be for them yet on a refi. On a purchase, yes. On a refi, no. I'm putting you on a tickler list so that when those rates drop, I've got everybody lined up. bang, you're going to get a phone call. If you want to get on my list, then call me now or text me at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. 407-250-9144. We'll put you in. We're going to get an application made. We'll put you in the queue, and we're just going to put you on a holding pattern until rates get to where they are. No lender is going to tell you to wait to refinance other than me. They're all going to go, oh no, you should do it right now. Right now, rates are good. You can save money. I'll save you $200 a month. No, don't do it yet.
Because the cost, I mean, typically if they don't do like put the cost into the rate, they're going to spend about 1 to 2% of the cost of the loan, like $6-7 grand.
Yeah, it just depends. It really depends on if you're trying to buy it down. I don't like
it takes some time to pay that back.
Here's the thing. I don't like generalities. I work in an exacting business. And when I give a client a general answer, it always comes back to bite you in the ass. So,
but you want to get that refi paid for like within the first year?
I will guarantee my listeners out there right now and every client, I will never, ever, and this is promise on my mother's grave, I will never, ever give you information that would self-serve me and not be in your best interest, period. And no one on my team will ever do that. You call me, you'll always get the truth, you'll get the right answer, and you'll get the best advice. Now, sometimes things can be a little bit more ambiguous. Like, you could do it now, but we could wait. It's not a big deal either way. And I'll let you know if I feel that way. But I am looking at bottom lines. I let the dollar signs read the tea leaves. So if you want somebody you can count on and you think it's your bank or your credit union, which I guarantee you isn't, but maybe you feel it is, then use them. But if you want somebody that knows the market, watches the market day in and day out and studies patterns, then I'm the guy you want to choose. If you want the teller behind the counter that does mortgages from time to time, then go to them.
What's the phone number they reach out?
407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com.
And for Cleve Loveland, 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com. Bruce, I got an interesting email here about a market analysis. And this is where most realtors are not educated enough on it. They don't have a sales manager down the hall because their boss is virtual and they just have an office they send in forms to for compliance. They don't have somebody saying, this is how you do a market analysis. This is what you add for an extra building outside the house. This is where you take off 60 grand or 70 grand because it doesn't have a big plate, a big pool.
Right.
Here's how much you take off per square foot. All these things, they're not taught how to do that. And this gentleman, and would you think like this gentleman, he's got a 10,000 square foot home.
Yep.
Now, do you think it would sell for as much as, there's not very many of them in Central Florida, but it would sell for as much as other 10,000 square foot homes?
Yes, but how many of those are you going to find around?
But here's the part. 5,000 of it's the house. 5,000 of it's a big air-conditioned garage for RV and car storage. Okay. So different. So
very different.
All of these things come into play. And you can't do a dollars per square foot analysis on something like that. Dollars per square foot only works like in brand new homes, comparing the same home to the same sale.
Yep. And that can be difficult on a new subdivision.
Yeah. So, and so dollars per square foot, it's the adjustment. It's a substitution method where you add 5,000 for an extra car garage, add 30 or 40,000 for a pool, take off $10,000. I know, but the appraisal value on something like that, is it screened in?
About 50 cents on the dollar.
Is it screened in? Is it heated? Is it, is there a water view? Is it a lake view or is it a pond view? Is it conservation? All these things, your realtor should know this, or just call me. I'll help you with it at 407-352-8118. So that gentleman's got a very complicated market analysis because he would go, if it's a 5,000 square foot home with a 5,000 square foot air conditioned garage, that's a little different. So that's a little harder to find
because that is under air, but it's not living area.
Yeah. And so, and what I always do is my sellers, I always list a little high. You can always come down, but you've got to react. If a house is on the market, whether it's 300,000 or 3 million, if it's on the market for more than 3 to 4 weeks with no offers, it's probably price, market position, we call it. But you want to adjust it a little bit because as soon as you adjust it, everybody's phone goes off. The public shopping on Zillow and Realtor.com, the realtors that have an alert out there for their buyer, you got to adjust market position. Or you can wait, but most likely you're going stale. And if somebody looks at your time on the market and they see 579 days, They know they either got some problem there or you got an unrealistic seller.
That's right.
So, because all this information is in the MLS. So it's not on a website you can read. It's not, you need somebody to interpret all these things for you when you're selling your home and marketing it.
Yep. Hey, listen, if you're looking for new construction, you can always call me. I'll connect you with the best builders in town, whether you're looking at a custom build, a semi-custom build, or new construction. And if you want new construction and you want St. Cloud or Mineola or Leesburg or Claremont, call me. I'll connect you with my friends at Trinity
Groveland,
Family
right?
Builders, Groveland. Yeah. They'll pay closing costs. They'll do rate buy downs, and they are one of the best production builders I've ever seen. Then down in Lakeland, Bartow, Frostproof, that area down there, you got Southern Homes. They are doing a great job. So Southern Homes, they'll pay your closing costs. They'll do buy downs, and they'll build on your own lot, or they have subdivisions that you can buy in. Call me and I'll connect you with them. You're down in South Florida, I've got builders there. I've got custom and semi-custom builders to help you if you want to build on your own lot. You got it all right here.
But in new construction, what's interesting, it's funny, Bruce, I took a trip down to South Florida last week, and all the construction signs there, all the builder signs, here in Central Florida, say from the 300s,
right?
And it's probably $399, unless it's a townhome.
From the 900s.
Yes. No, down there it's from the 6s to 1.5 million. Right. And that's not near the water.
No.
All the new construction for most part is west of the turnpike.
That's in the hood.
Yeah. That's over towards the Everglades. Up against, right. Where there's nowhere else to build downtown.
Can you imagine your starting prices in the 600s? So listen to me now. I told Cleve that by the end of 2026, we would have our average price in
not
the
average,
sixes.
Median.
No, you keep changing it.
You're changing. It was
he's
median.
Moving the goalpost on me here. If you'd like average. To talk to Cleve, call him right now and give him a rash, because he does change the goalpost on me right now. He's trying to do that. You can reach him at 407-352-8118, 407-352-8118 for Cleve Loveland, the best real estate agent in Central Florida, bar none. If you'd like to get your loan started, you want a great loan, you want somebody that's going to take good care of you, call me at 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com.
Quick question, Bruce.
Yes.
We had a lot of people out there right now building great equity. When rates drop down in the 3s or 2s, even for the 15 years and even some 30 years in the 2% range, those people got a low payment, which helped insulate them against. That's why we don't have a ton of we have zero foreclosures. Hardly any. There's hardly any. You don't have any defaults at CrossCountry, hardly, unless somebody died and there's nobody else to pay the mortgage. But right now, so you had people over the past 2 years getting rates in the 6s and 7s, maybe even the 8s.
Yeah.
What's a 15-year rate right now?
You can get a 15-year rate down into the 5s.
We get a little lower, and they get a low 5 interest rate on a 15.
You might be the same payment,
about the same
as
payment.
The 7.25% that you're already paying.
And that's a great equity builder. I see so few people do that, and I saw some really smart people. And so I've had some people, I go sit down with them, and I'm like, I know, because I can tell when a house was listed. Like, let's say a house was listed previously before COVID, and it was listed for 300. I can almost say for certain that house right now is probably worth about $499. If I know the neighbor, depending on what neighborhood and things like that, but I can kind of look at that.
Yep.
Or they were on the market last year for $2 million and didn't sell, or 3 years ago and didn't sell, like during COVID. And now the market's almost caught up with them. They're probably worth about 1.8, even though they didn't sell back then.
It's incredible.
I can kind of look at that because I know what appreciation was per year and what's realistic. So it's just, I think the people that saved a lot of money with those low interest rates, it's going to insulate them again when these rates drop back into the 5s, and maybe we get 15-year mortgages in the 4s. Great way to build wealth.
Well, listen, here's the dilemma that we run into with rates dropping. And I've been telling you guys this the whole time, right? When rates drop, more people enter the market. So right now, my phone calls have increased by over 50% just in the last 2 weeks, over 50%. So that means that if there were 10 people that wanted to buy, but only 2 were willing to buy because of interest rates, now you have 5 to 6 people. Now, if rates drop and they're in the 5s, you're going to have all 10 of those people entering the market. There's not enough homes. There's going to be a lack of inventory. Sellers are no longer going to pay closing costs. Your veterans are going to be shoved out of the market. Your down payment assistance clients, forget it. A seller won't even entertain it because they're going to have multiple offers because all of you waited. And that's why I said, don't wait for rates to drop to buy. We'll refinance you later. Now that's already happening. So now you first-time home buyers that waited for rates to drop are now up against a problem with multiple offers. Cleve and I will be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. 407-250-9144 or 407-352-8118 for Cleve.